There's a deer moving around back behind the sheep, behind the trees. I know that was kind of impossible to see, but it's kind of neat that during the hunting season, we hear gunshots every day now because we're in the middle of hunting season. And it's nice that the deer come to our house. We're not shooting any of them, at least not this year. I've never hunted for deer, and maybe I will in the next few years, but currently I haven't. I kind of really doubt if I ever will, especially as long as we have sheep. We don't need deer meat when we have sheep meat. Well, if you just saw my last video, it looks like I've just been standing here the whole time. But I've been doing all kinds of things, and here it is, 2 o'clock in the afternoon again for me to get started working down here. All the errands and things that I'm running. So I did get this piece of plywood out. There's all kinds of trash in there. I'm gonna try to blow all that out and fill in with my insulation. I went and bought insulation, which actually kind of worked out really good. So here's my big bundles of insulation. So I was looking at this online while I was standing at Lowe's. I'm looking up at the price and it's $78 per bundle. And I look it up online and it's showing like 5 bundles is $43 per bundle. So I'm like, I want $43. So I wheel it up to the register. I didn't realize it was a bundle of 5 right at first, but I wheeled it up there. She rang it up and it wasn't coming out that price. So I showed her on the phone and asked her to call a manager. And so he came and he said, oh, well, this is if you buy 5. And I only had 4. I said, oh, well, no problem. I'll buy 1 more because the 1 more is going to be free. And I can use it somewhere. I can use it on these walls because I haven't bought insulation for these walls yet. Even though this is thicker, I can just peel some away and use it up here. Then they said, no, it's a different number. It's not ringing up the same, so we can't do it. I showed them the picture and showed them that every single word and number and everything that's on this package was exactly the same on the cheaper one. So they called another manager and he said, yeah, go ahead and give him that price. Wonderful. So I was excited to get that. Later, I found out that it said if you pay for it online, it will come like 2.5 weeks from now, or maybe 2 weeks from now. And I was like, that's weird. So maybe they have some kind of deal where it's bundled up in sets of 5 in a warehouse somewhere, and the only way you can get it is to order it online. Watch out for things like that, That's half price on that. Speaking of deals, I think I showed you this before, that the slab broke, the corner dropped down. I hope I haven't talked about this whole entire thing before on the videos. The weight sits on the corners. So my concrete guy, I had told him I wanted a 6-inch slab. He said 4 inches will be fine. I said, okay, well, are you going to put a footing all the way around it to strengthen all the perimeter? He said, no, 4 inches will be fine. Without that, you don't need that. I said, well, since it sits on the corners, it probably needs extra support on the corners. And I never did get a straight answer from him on that. But when they went ahead and set it up and started pouring concrete, they did not reinforce the corners. So I went back to him and said, we went over all 3 of these things and the corners broke. What are you going to do? I need you to come out. I wanted him to come out, dig out the corners, jack it up, and pour some extra concrete underneath the corners to strengthen it. I would have been fine with that. So weeks and weeks and weeks, he kept saying, okay. Actually, in the first conversation, he said, well, do you just want your money back? And I was like, I don't think that would be fair to ask for my money back. He said, okay. So weeks went by. He's supposed to come. He never did come. So I finally sent him a text and said, hey, if you want to send me my money back, that's okay. So he actually did. He sent me my money back. So that helps. Now I'll have to dig under there and reinforce that myself, but it's worth it for a few $1,000s, right? So those are the real deals I've gotten. But also, when you're buying $1,500 or more, you want to talk to the contractor's desk at Lowe's, and you want them to have them put it together as an order and send it into corporate, and they will find out if they can do a better discount for you. You know, better discount. I mean, if you're getting no discount, then you'll do really well. But if you're like a veteran or something and you're already getting 10%, then you'll usually get better than 10%, usually somewhere around 15%. And then if you're buying materials really frequently and, a professional, you can get even better deals. Okay, that's it for today. I got my spooky look. Got all that insulation in there. Got one more row I got to fill in. I got to plug up that hole to the outside before I finish the insulation right there. So that's the first. It's kind of like a half section. Each other section is twice as wide. And then I've got them going all the way back. So that's going to take a little while. I'm coming down here to get the tractor, and I startled a deer. So I'm still looking around, seeing if I can see it. I was coming down the driveway right here, and it jumped from these trees really high, almost across the driveway, and then ran off into the woods. So it's now down here. I can still hear it walking through the leaves. Well, I tried walking around loudly to see if I could stir it up and maybe just catch its, cottontail. I guess you don't call it a cottontail, but catch its white tail bounding through the woods. But it's either standing still and hiding, or it's already walked off far away. The seat on the tractor is so wet, I want to grab a towel and go wipe it off. So a couple days ago, we had a chicken die. Well, we found a dead chicken. And so the day before, one had been kind of walking slow, almost stumbling. We were hoping it would recover, but it didn't. And so now I'm going to bury it. We couldn't bury it at the time, so we put it in the freezer. Just to keep it from sitting out rotting or anything, or attracting animals or whatever. A lot's been going on in the chicken coop lately. We've had a hole for a long time that we thought a skunk was living in it, but I think a skunk was digging around in it. And it's actually some field rats that are living in there. They've dug 3 holes going, I think, all to the same nest or whatever you would call it. And so I've put out some rat traps. I was thinking about mouse traps, and I was feeling how tight they are, and I was like, there's no way this is catching a rat. So I went and bought some of those big rat traps, and we did get one. And Cindy saw it yesterday and told me, but I forgot. So I went out there today, and its head was still in the trap, but I guess the other rat ate a lot of the rat that was in the trap, which is very weird. And so now it just looked like a head and a pelt, like you might see in Alaska in some hunting stores or something. They have the whole head and the pelt. except this was about this big. Maybe a little bigger. It's kind of loud inside this car. We don't drive this car much. It used to be my work truck when I was doing construction, doing townhomes, supervising the construction. I got all my tools loaded up. I'm headed over to Walters, and if you've watched the video regularly, you may have seen that we've worked on his mother-in-law's house, done all kinds of things. I'm trying to think. Last time we were there, we were doing a little bit of rough plumbing, and now they're getting towards the end where now there's drywall. We're doing plumbing again today, and hanging a couple of doors and just getting it ready so that they can get a temporary certificate of occupancy, and then they can go ahead and live there while they're finishing the rest. Hopefully there won't be much left for them to do after today. Hopefully we can wrap up most of the things they need. They'll just need to plug in a microwave or install a stove. They have to have something for cooking, and they have to have a working bathroom, which we're going to get both of those done today. And all the electrical has to be ready to turn on. I think that's mainly the three things. They don't even have to have flooring in, no kitchen cabinets. So I think we'll get them almost all the way there. If you're thinking, wow, that project's been going on a long time, you're right. But the nice thing is that it's going to be paid for when it's done. They are just doing the next thing when they have the money. So it's going along really well, and no mortgage. But she has been living in a camper, and that camper is falling apart. It hasn't fallen completely apart yet, but you know, all kinds of issues. It's going to be good to be moving out of that thing. So living in a camper is pretty rough, but imagine not having a mortgage. Would that be pretty incredible? Hopefully, at least one person on here is inspired to think about other options, not just follow the normal paths in life. If you can think outside the box, you can get way ahead in so many ways. Of course, there's risk. So if you're into minimizing risk, that's understandable too. Some people need just a lot of security, and it's okay. This is Walter's house. It's coming along pretty nice. He's doing the same thing, living in a camper and building his own house. And here's the house we're working on today. You can see those wires sticking out of the electrical box where the power will be turned on after they pass the inspection. I'm here with Lewis. We're working on the house. You can see that he's leaning over the toilet as we get it installed. So I had to catch him at a funny time. I almost forgot to do any video. Lewis put in the thermostat. We've been putting in the HVAC vents up here in the ceiling. Got all those put in. Put a couple doors in. They're not doing all the doors yet, but turns out that this door was supposed to go here, but it was hinged the wrong way. So we bought the wrong one at Lowe's. So we ended up putting it on this room to have a place to go ahead and just use it up. Got this door. Got the vanity ready for the sink top, but we need one more part before that can go in. The shower head and nozzle. So just a lot of little odds and ends things. But I think we're at the end of the day now after we get this toilet in. Well, I was just feeding the chickens, putting a bag of feed in their place. And I'm looking at this rat situation here. The original hole goes down beside the drain pipe. It goes that way. And then they have this hole and this hole that I stuck a couple pipes in, just try to block it off. I had 2 traps here, and one of them was sprung and the other one's disappeared. So I just reset that one. And I'm looking all around trying to find out where this other trap went. Maybe I'll look around inside the greenhouse. Well, I don't know where the trap is, but it looks like the rat is right there. Just laying there in the middle of the greenhouse. That's really huge. Here's my hand next to it. It's as long as the palm of my hand, not including the tail.